dance revolution, revolving over all shadows of freedom. For we shall overcome someday, but until that day we pray for the slaves that sleep. We are a nation dancing under the spirits of moonlight that gather like the lions of both meant. Cause every time our bodies moved, it meant we were gonna do something, prove something.
41 countries, 330 cities throughout the world are joining us here today. We need to advocate for ourselves. Monsanto is poisoning us and monopolizing food supplies. The federal watchdog agencies, the EPA, the USDA, and FDA are supposed to protect the health and safety of the public, but they don't. They don't conduct safety tests of their own. These agencies accept data provided by Monsanto and other companies without any real evaluation. Amen. Few legislators are interested. They receive campaign contributions from Monsanto and other chemical companies. So it is up to us, we the people, we the people need to vote with our dollars every time we buy food.
Say yes, and if you want to say no, say no. 'Cause there's a million ways to go. Know that there are.
Monsanto's a war criminal.
Yes,
we
they
knew
are.
their CEOs are criminally insane.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
We need to hold their shareholders responsible for these crimes.
So buy as much non-GMO stuff as you can, and I'll challenge everybody here to do something that you'll find almost impossible. Find one boxed item in your local grocery store that doesn't contain soybean oil or canola oil or the ever ubiquitous vegetable oil.
Yeah.
Try and find one processed item that's non-GMO. It's impossible.
Are we for life? Yes! Do we speak for humanity? Yes! Do we speak for the seeds? Yes! Do we speak for the animals? Yes! Do we speak for the insects? Yes! Do we speak for bacteria? Yes! Do we speak for fungi? Yes! Do we speak for life? Yes! A friend of mine was in the San Francisco conference in January 1999 when he heard Monsanto's consultant, Arthur Anderson Company, they were also Enron's consultant, describe how they worked with their client Monsanto. They asked them to describe their ideal future in 15 to 20 years, and they described a world in which 100% of all commercial seeds were genetically engineered and patented. They want to introduce genetically engineered mosquitoes in Key West this year. They want to introduce genetically modified salmon. They want to genetically engineer out the mothering instinct of livestock. They want to genetically engineer our trees, our flowers, and even humans. They want to eliminate the products of the billions of years of evolution and replace it with designer genes and designer organisms designed for greater profit and control to Monsanto and its minions. Now let me tell you a little bit about this company that is trying to take over life. When their consultant reported that the PCBs being released in Anniston, Alabama were poisoning the rivers and poisoning the people, they had evidence and proof. The response was typical by the mindset of Monsanto. They refused to stop poisoning, and they said in their confidential memo, we cannot afford to lose $1 of business. I was told by a former Monsanto employee, 3 of his colleagues did the safety studies on the milk from cows treated with Monsanto's bovine growth hormone. They found so much cancer-promoting hormone, IGF-1, in the milk, the 3 Monsanto scientists refused to drink milk thereafter unless it was organic. One bought his own cow. He also said to me, when another set of colleagues found that rats were damaged from Monsanto's corn, they did not withdraw the corn. They rewrote the study to hide the effects. And he told me he knew that the percentage of corn in the diets of the rats was fairly low. Usually Monsanto doesn't test above 33%. And he was aware that the people of South Africa and Southern Africa use corn as staples. And he was concerned that if the rats on 1/3 of their diet were showing these profound health dangers, what of the people of Southern Africa that use corn as 2/3 of their diet or more? Well, if you've seen the movie Genetic Roulette, there is a tragedy going on in South Africa. There was a farm where the farmer was complaining about the health of the cows and the pigs. Significant health damage. He took advice from a U.S. veterinarian who said, don't plant GMOs again. So he switched from GM to non-GM corn, started feeding it to the animals, and they got better. And then ran out of the GM corn, non-GM corn, switched back to the GM corn that he had to buy in the market, and all the animals got worse. And then he planted enough. It's Monsanto. And when I don't find a parking spot, it's Monsanto. When they finally got enough non-GMO corn to last year-round, the animals were fine. But here's the side story that's the central story. The people living on the farm were constantly sick. He only needed 50 farm workers, but he kept 60, 20% more, because so many were down with sickness. He was spending a fortune on anti-inflammatory drugs and painkillers. They had flu symptoms and cold symptoms and severe headaches. And about once a month or twice a month, the owner of the farm would speak to one of the farm workers, and he would notice that an eye would go in one direction and another eye would go in another direction, and the eyes lost the ability to track. And when he saw that, based on his experience, month after month after month, he knew that person would be dead in 1 or 2 days. Those farm workers were eating just the corn grown on the farm, so their corn, which was the majority of their diet, eaten 3 times a day, was 100% genetically engineered. So they were the canaries in the kitchen. They were the rats. They were the guinea pigs. They were us, humans, being fed Monsanto's meal as the majority of their food. And then when the animals switched off the corn, so too did the humans. And their problems went away just like the animals. And then when they had to buy corn from the market, the problems came back until they were able to secure non-GM corn year-round. These people may have been eating more GMOs than anyone on earth because they were eating 100% GM corn grown on the farm, not the mix that's normally available from the market. But they are us, our allies. We see what happened to them, And we see what would happen to our future if 100% of our commercial seeds were genetically engineered and patented, just as Monsanto planned. By the third generation on Roundup-ready soybeans, most of the hamsters were sterile. They died at 4 or 5 times the rate, and many had hair growing in their mouths. We have not had 3 generations of humans on GM corn and soy.
You can do what you want.